Welcome back to another explainer. Today we're tackling an absolutely massive topic for your Chapter 2 exam, mastering the crucial concept of RDBMS keys. If you've ever looked at a complex database table and wondered how on earth everything stays organized without collapsing into total chaos, well, you're in the exact right place. We're going to lock down these concepts with complete clarity so you can confidently ace that exam. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into our agenda for today. First, we'll look at the purpose of keys. Then we'll pick candidate keys against primary keys. After that, we'll explore the composite primary key, followed by connecting tables with foreign keys. And finally, we'll wrap up with some final revision and exam tips.
So, starting with Section 1, the purpose of keys, we are setting the stage here.
In the world of relational databases, keys are the absolute VIPs. They run the entire show. Imagine you're sitting in your exam, looking at your paper, and this classic one-mark question pops up. What exactly is a key? Seriously, think about it for just a second. How would you define it in proper database terms without just guessing or throwing buzzwords around?
Well, here is your definitive answer. A key is a column or a combination of columns used to identify one or more rows, which, remember, we formerly called tuples, in a table. Now, the absolute main job of a key is all about identity. Think of it like your fingerprint. Just like your fingerprint identifies you in a massive crowd of people, a key identifies a very specific row of data in a massive database.
Now, what if the exam throws the two-mark question at you? Why are they required? Well, keys bring order to the chaos by doing three absolutely vital jobs. First, they uniquely identify each tuple. Second, they impose restrictions or constraints on attribute values, which basically ensures our data actually makes sense. And third, they establish relationships between tables. Honestly, without keys doing these three jobs, databases would just be unorganized digital junk drawers. No one wants that.
Moving right along to Section 2, candidate versus primary key. Let's look at the contenders.
I actually like to think of this phase as a tournament. It turns out attributes actually compete for dominance in our database. Take a really close look at the data inside this student table. Notice the roll number and mobile number columns? Both of them hold completely unique values. Ami, Shweta, and Avout each have a totally different roll number and a totally different mobile number. Because they contain completely unique data, they both qualify to compete. They are what we call our candidate keys.
But, every tournament needs a winner, right? A primary key is the specific attribute selected from your candidate keys to uniquely identify the tuples in a relation. The candidates compete, but ultimately only one takes the crown and runs the show.
To lock in your answer for your exam, let's compare them side by side. Candidate keys? Well, you can have one or more of them. They each have the power to uniquely identify tuples, and they actively compete for selection. But the primary key? Only one candidate is selected per table. It is the designated, definitive identifier. The selected key becomes the ultimate winner.
All right, Section 3, the composite primary key. This is all about team effort.
What happens when one winner just isn't strong enough on its own? We're shifting our mindset now from competition to collaboration. Sometimes teamwork is absolutely required. When no single attribute can uniquely identify the tuples, two or more attributes are taken together as the primary key. By combining forces, they successfully identify a tuple. Think of it like needing both your first name and your phone number to find exactly you in a massive global directory. That powerful combination, that's your composite primary key.
Next up, Section 4, connecting tables with foreign keys. We're building bridges now.
So far, we've only been looking inside a single table. But the true magic of a relational database is how different tables actually communicate with each other. Enter the ultimate bridge builder of the database, the foreign key. By definition, a foreign key is an attribute whose value is derived from the primary key of another relation, and it's used to represent the relationship between those two relations. I know that sounds like a mouthful, so let's visualize exactly how this works with some real data. Let's walk through this student table slowly. We have roll number, name, and branch code. Roll number is our primary key here, but I want you to pay special attention to that branch code column. We have IT for Ame and EL for Shweta. But what do those codes actually mean? Where does that specific information live?
And this brilliantly illustrates our point. When we reveal the second table, the branch table, we see those exact same codes. Now, in this branch table, branch code is the primary key.
So the branch code in our student table is acting as a foreign key. It's pointing directly across the bridge to the primary key of the branch table. That is exactly how tables talk to each other and share information without needlessly duplicating data all over the place. It's super efficient.
Finally, Section 5, Final Revision and Exam Tips. This is your 5-mark mastery. Let's bring that high energy to the wrap-up because we're focusing directly on your strategy to absolutely ace that huge 5-mark mega question on your test. The crucial point here is this exact conceptual progression. You start with the candidate key, from which you select the primary key. If one isn't enough, you form a composite primary key. And to link to another table entirely, you use a foreign key. My biggest exam tip for you, these 4 definitions are directly connected, and they are practically always tested together. If you map out this logical flow in your head, that 5-mark question is going to be an absolute breeze.
To make this completely foolproof, here's a quick mnemonic mapping to lock these definitions right into your memory for instant recall. Think of it like this. The candidate key is your competitor. The primary key is your selected identifier. The composite key is a combination, and the foreign key is your connector. Competitor, identifier, combination, connector. Memorize those associations right now, and you are golden for the exam.
But of course, the database journey doesn't end here. Next up, we'll dive into terms like table, field, record, attribute, domain, degree, and cardinality. If you thought you had databases completely figured out, just wait. How do you think entirely new concepts like degree and cardinality will complicate the perfect table relationships we just built today? You'll have to join us for the next explainer to find out. Keep studying, stay focused, and I will see you next time.